Optical isomerism. Reactions involving double bonds, planar, aka flat bonds, they produce race mates. And what are double bonds? They're planar bracket flat. Normal light vibrates in all directions. Okay, normal light vibrates in all directions. Plain polarized light only vibrates in one direction. So normal light vibrates in all directions. Plain polarized light only vibrates in one direction. And you know, for optical isomerism, these key details you do need to know. Obviously, in any topic, you need to know the key details, but especially in optical isomerism, because all it can really ask you is draw the optical isomerism or fill it in. Like they give you a compound and it says draw its optical isomer, or they're going to test you on the A1 because that's really it. And so you do need to know it. Or identify chiral carbons, which we want to know. A chiral carbon atom is one that has 4 different groups attached to it. Optical isomerism are compounds that contain an asymmetric carbon atom, which forms stereoisomers that differ in their effect on plane polarized light. Normal light vibrates in all directions. Plane polarized light only vibrates in one direction. Enantiomers are arranging the groups in 2 different ways around the carbon atom, so 2 different molecules are made. Enantiomers are arranging the group in 2 different ways around the carbon atom, so 2 different molecules are made. Reactions involving double bond bracket planar/flat, they produce race mates. Yeah. However, if you start with a symmetrical ketone, it produces a product that does not have a chiral center. Enantiomers are non-superimposed. What does that mean? Non-superimposed. Superimposed means that if you put one thing on top of another, they will match up completely. So if I put pen or anything really, this piece of paper on top of another, and it's just photocopied, they will match up completely. Enantiomers are non-superimposed. Superimposed means if you put one thing on top of another, they will match up completely. Therefore, non-superimposed means if you put one thing on top of another, they will not match up completely. The non-superimposed. Why do chemists react to achiral things? Chemists react to achiral things to produce a race mate of a chiral product. 2 molecules react to achiral things, forming a race mate of a chiral product. If molecules can be superimposed, what does that mean? They are achiral, therefore they does not have different groups attached to it, 4 different groups attached to it, and therefore they have no optical isomerism. If molecules can be superimposed, they are achiral, have no optical isomerism. And they're forming a race mate when we react to achiral things. 2 molecules react to achiral things, forming a race mate of a chiral product. Therefore, we have an equal chance of forming each of enantiomers. How to locate the chiral center? Look for the carbon atom with 4 different groups attached to it. Race mate. Race mate is a mixture of equal amounts of enantiomers. Race mates show no optical activity, as the 2 enantiomers cancel each other's light rotating effect. Optical isomers optically active. They're optically active, therefore they rotate plane polarized light, and they only vibrate in one direction. And 1 enantiomers rotate plane polarized light. 1 enantiomer rotates in clockwise direction. 1 enantiomer rotates in anti-clockwise direction. Therefore, you can identify which molecule it is because they rotate in different directions. If you start with an unsymmetrical ketone / aldehyde, we produce a mixture of enantiomers. This rule does not apply to methanol. I think that's what it's. If you start with unsymmetrical ketone / aldehyde, I think that's what it's trying to say. And that is it for optical isomerism.